My name is Siona and I shall be speaking on the topic clean water and sanitation. The UN General Assembly first recognized the right to safe drinking water as part of binding international law in 2010. The right to water entitles everyone to have access to sufficient, safe, and affordable drinking water by 2030. So, a quick run through of some stats. 892 million people continue to practice open defecation. 2.4 billion people lack access to basic sanitation facilities. 70% of lake water is used for irrigation. Don't understand these stats? Me neither. These numbers, as well as the idea of everyone on earth getting water, and trust me, it is very sad saying this, seem so far away from me. These numbers, as well as the idea of everyone getting clean water, and trust me, it is very sad saying this, seem like something so far away from me. So I thought, instead of looking at the whole world, which I know very little about, why not look at something closer to me? Today, I am going to look at the state of water right here in Pune, my main focus being non-equitable water distribution. Sanitation in Pune is in a state of constant improvement. There have been schemes such as One Home, One Toilet to create sustainable toilets for the urban poor. More than 1,600 toilets have been built in slums. These are projects especially for women's sanitations, such as converting buses into women's only hygienic toilets that sells products such as sanitary pads at a relatively cheaper cost. Distribution of affordable water, on the other hand, is very uneven in Pune. Some places get up to 600 liters of water, while others barely get 100. The first question that popped into my head when I heard this was, is this even legal? Didn't the UN claim that water to all is a human right? The answer to that is blurry. The Indian Constitution states that the responsibility of providing water is distributed from state governments to local governments, which for Pune would be the PMC. We can assure that this water is safe. It comes straight from dams, and while there is obviously some unhygienic water in said dams, this water is not distributed to citizens, and also, as they say, the devil you know is better than the one you don't. Because you see, while the responsibility of water rests with these local corporations, the finer details are pretty much fully in the corporation's hands. This is why the PMC does not have the complete responsibility to give water to citizens anymore. They have bought affidavits that put the responsibility of water supply on the shoulder of housing societies instead. These societies then turn to water tanker mafias. Water tanker mafias steal water from sources that we shall talk about more in a bit and sell said water for exorbitant prices for at a minimum of 200 rupees more than PMC is relatively much affordable water. Members of societies have been complaining about getting sick after drinking said water, stating that it is by no means suitable for children or senior citizens. I want to ask two questions. A. Why does this happen in the first place? And B. Why does this continue? An explanation for A is that the primary focus is on the construction of housing societies, and good water infrastructure cannot catch up to this. Last year, 178 building permits were granted in the short span of 2 months. Pune has also merged 34 villages to Pune's municipal area. This has led to even more building projects being opened. And as for B, societies do hypothetically have other options. But practically speaking, the water tanker mafia, if the name doesn't make it clear enough, does not play clean, purposely sabotaging wire pipelines, well owners involved with this mafia intentionally depleting groundwater, assaulting and threatening whoever tries to speak up, and perhaps even worse, exploiting. It isn't the societies who have alternate sources for water targeting. It's the societies who struggle for it every day. The societies who have no choice but these mafias. Now, about where they get this water in the first place. The first option is illegally extracted groundwater. Frequent pumping of groundwater can lower it, making it impossible for wells to have the depth to get it. This groundwater is also mined from sources contaminated with chemicals and sewage, explaining the sickness. The second option is the PMC's very own tanker filling stations. A Hindustan Times article alleges officials are involved in this. Investigations showing that water meters showing the amount of water which civic staff maintain were found switched off, with CCTV cameras either damaged or pointing in the wrong direction. The PMC fully admits that they are clueless when it comes to truly detecting theft because water meters are very easy to tamper with. This further intimidates citizens because what can an individual do when it's the system that owns them that is corrupted? But I don't think that line of thinking is accurate. 11 organizations from Pune filed a public interest litigation about water tanker mafias and 135 liters of water to be supplied per day. They demand policies on groundwater usage which do not exist at all so far and details of water infrastructure to accompany construction. The only reason Pune has such an abundance of toilets today, even in rural areas, is because of the people who spoke up against the lack of them and even took the initiative to build them. And I think that's the beauty in all of this. You can help. It is only the restless letters to the Maharashtra government, the complaints filed against the PNC's irresponsibility, and speaking up that has taken the case anywhere. So I think that it is our duty as citizens to know. I live in such a little bubble that before doing research for this speech, I had no idea about an issue that directly affects myself as well as so many people around me. I always thought that awareness was a substitute for truly taking action, but now I believe it is a precursor to it. Being conscious about these issues will create a world where it will be common for people to stand up to them, as well as provide a platform to fight for them alongside like-minded people. My last plea is to make yourself aware and stand against Pune's skewed water distribution citizens. Because in the words of Green Day, silence is the enemy. Thank you.